On the morning of May 15, 2025, deep inside the forests of Yavatmal, Maharashtra, police officers made a disturbing discovery. A partially burned body was found lying among the trees. The face had been damaged so severely that identifying the person seemed almost impossible. Even more concerning, there were no missing person reports filed anywhere nearby. So the question was simple, but terrifying. Who was this person, and why was their body left here? As investigators began piecing together the clues, the trail unexpectedly led to a man named Shantanu Deshmukh. Shantanu Deshmukh was 32 years old and lived in Yavatmal with his family. He worked as a teacher at a well-known English medium school, where he was respected for his calm nature and friendly personality. Among the school staff, Shantanu shared a particularly close bond with the school's principal, Nidhi Tiwari. Nidhi was known as intelligent, disciplined, and deeply caring toward her students. Parents trusted her completely. Many even described her as a second mother to their children. At just 24 years old, she had achieved what takes many people decades, becoming a school principal. She maintained professional relationships with her staff, but over time, her connection with Shantanu grew stronger. What started as a professional association slowly turned into friendship, and eventually, into a romantic relationship. From the outside, their bond appeared genuine, natural, respectful, and full of promise. Soon after, they decided to get married. But behind this seemingly perfect relationship, there was one serious warning sign. Shantanu struggled with alcohol addiction, something Nidhi was completely unaware of before marriage. Even Shantanu's own family had grown concerned about his behavior and did not fully support the relationship. After their wedding in 2024, the couple chose to live separately from their families, hoping for a fresh start. For a brief period, everything seemed normal. But that calm didn't last long. Within weeks, Nidhi began to see a side of Shantanu she had never known. A reality hidden carefully during their courtship. The truth about his addiction slowly came to light. And with it, cracks began forming behind closed doors. Shantanu's drinking problem was far more serious than Nidhi had ever imagined. He had a group of friends he drank with regularly, and alcohol had slowly taken control of his life. As Nidhi began discovering the truth, arguments between them became frequent. Whenever Shantanu ran out of money, he demanded cash from her to buy alcohol. When she refused, the situation would turn aggressive. At first, Nidhi tried to manage everything quietly. She gave him money. She tried to reason with him. She endured things she never thought she would. But her breaking point came when Shantanu made a shocking threat. He warned her that he would upload private photos and videos of her, content taken from her own phone, onto the internet. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. The man she trusted, the man she married, was now using fear to control her. Out of panic, she gave him the money that day. But the threats didn't stop. They became more frequent, more deliberate. Slowly, Nidhi realized something terrifying. Shantanu was never going to change. At that moment, she made a decision that would change everything. She decided she would not continue living this life anymore. The marriage she had dreamed of, the future she imagined, none of it was possible now. But she knew she couldn't carry out such a plan alone. Talking to colleagues or Shantanu's friends was not an option. So she turned to people she believed she could influence, her students. As the school principal, she held authority and trust. She carefully designed a way to gain their confidence. Nidhi sent messages to a few parents on WhatsApp, offering free competitive exam coaching for their children. The parents were surprised, but guidance from a school principal felt like an opportunity too valuable to refuse. Without suspicion, they allowed their children to attend the sessions. Every morning at 4 a.m., Nidhi began holding these classes. Over time, she started giving special attention to 3 specific students. At school as well, these students received noticeable priority. For them, the principal's attention felt like recognition, even validation. Gradually, Nidhi shared her personal struggles with them. She spoke about the threats, the fear, the violence. Slowly and carefully, she pulled them into her plan. At the same time, she began searching online for dangerous information, including ways to create poison. She was now preparing to act. Nidhi gave the drink to Shantanu while he was already intoxicated. Within just a few hours, Shantanu collapsed, and he did not survive. But for Nidhi, this was not the end of the plan. She knew she could not leave his body inside the house. Around 2 a.m., She contacted the same 3 students and took them in a car to a forested area outside the city, Chausala Forest. There, they left Shantanu's body and returned. Even after this, fear continued to control her decisions. She worried that the police might still identify Shantanu through facial features. So, allegedly, on the night of May 14th, Nidhi went back to the forest with the students once again. This time, she used petrol to set the body on fire, making identification extremely difficult. After this, Nidhi began acting as if nothing had happened. She started telling people that Shantanu was missing. She kept his social media accounts active. She replied to messages from his friends and even made calls from his phone, so that call records would appear normal. Every day, she followed her usual routine and continued going to work. According to her, the plan was flawless. No evidence, no suspicion, but she was wrong. On May 15th, police discovered a partially burned body in the forest. There was no missing person report at that time, but the investigation continued. Police studied the clothing and photographs recovered from the scene. Following these clues, they reached a local beer bar where Shantanu was known to visit regularly. His friends were present there. They told police that Shantanu had only been communicating through text messages recently and had stopped meeting them in person. One of his friends showed the police a photograph of Shantanu, and the shirt he was wearing in that image matched the shirt found on the body. This became the first solid breakthrough in the case. Police then traced Shantanu's home address and went there. Nidhi refused to cooperate properly. Her answers were inconsistent, and she avoided questions. During a search of the house, police recovered clothing items that closely matched what was found on the body. At this point, investigators had enough material to formally interrogate her. Nidhi realized she could no longer mislead the police. During questioning, she confessed. She admitted that she had planned the act after prolonged distress caused by Shantanu's addiction, threats, and behavior. Police also arrested the 3 students who had helped move the body. Since they were minors, their identities were not made public. This is how the entire case involving a school principal and 3 students was solved. It is disturbing to think that someone so educated, someone entrusted with shaping young minds, could take such a step. What do you think about this case? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This case is now officially resolved. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next case.